is Ukraine continuing to seize more villages in Kursk, even as Putin runs out of allies and additional troops to shore up the situation? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is a really interesting kind of series of stories, the first of which is that Russian mill bloggers are reporting that Ukrainians are actually back on the offensive in and around the Sudzha region, particularly to the north. They are attempting to seize 2 additional villages, Karivka and Kamishivka. Now, there's some reports that, again, Russian forces are pushing back, but this is unusual because, as we talked about yesterday, it seemed like the Ukrainian forces might be pivoting towards a defensive posture, digging in, forcing the Russians to really work harder to push them out of Kursk. But it seems like that may have been a deception. And Ukrainian forces, again, launching localized offensive actions, but still trying to take 2 key villages in the region. What's more interesting to me is actually the fact that this was kind of obliquely confirmed by Syrsky. Here we go. Syrsky reportedly briefing Zelensky on the situation, not just near Pokrovsk, but also in Kursk, where Ukrainian forces have advanced what he says is up to 2 kilometers, establishing control over additional 5 square kilometers of territory. So, a little bit of math there would tell you this is about 2.5 by 2.5 kilometer area. So again, you can see here that you're talking about probably like this chunk here, something in this sort of general direction. So this is, again, a sign that in Kursk, the metric for Ukrainian success is actually seizing territory. Again, something they can use to bargain away with Putin later. But if you are someone who's looking to enhance your own bargaining position, at least relative to what you want to get done, especially given the Labor Day holiday, the last hurrah of summer, if you want to make sure you get the most out of it, you may want some caffeine. You should check out Strike Gum. Strike Gum, of course, 90 milligrams caffeine in every single piece, 100 milligrams alpha GPC, and 0 sugar. Best of all, it's made in the USA and veteran owned, so you know that you're supporting an American companies from start to finish here. And if you use promo code LaborDay24, the link's in the description, you are going to get free shipping on orders over $50 plus a discount if you get 2 or more of the pack. So really, you can't beat it. I think the free shipping is not for international, but the discount applies to everybody. So again, check the link in the description. If you're somebody who's thought about picking up some Strike Gum or you're looking to reorder, this is your chance. Get it here in the summer, right? It's Labor Day. We want to stock up for our 4th quarter, the big Christmas, Thanksgiving push. So take advantage of it, right? This is the best way to get the energy drink alternative. Superior in every way to an energy drink. Okay, so let's talk about what I think is honestly maybe the more significant story, and that is the tough spot Putin finds himself in as he tries to contain the Kursk offensive by Ukraine. The first problem is that Putin seems to be relying on random volunteers. Acting Kursk governor is planning to create a bunch of volunteer reserve detachments to help fight against the Ukrainian offensive. This is a really not great plan. Again, because as you guys know, Russia's been recruiting volunteers for months to fight in Ukraine. So it's not clear how much is left among able-bodied men who would be willing to fight, right? Russians are forming purportedly Bars Bryansk, Bars Belgorod, and Bars Kursk groups in order to support this Russian northern grouping of forces. What makes this interesting, again, is that it reflects the fact that Putin legally has the authority to mobilize conscripts to do this fighting, right? It's combat within Russia. But Putin himself knows that this war is already unpopular and it's being fought by volunteers. So you can imagine how much less popular it's going to be if this war ends up being fought primarily by conscripts who don't have a choice. This is something, once you start fighting with even a small number of conscripts, every Russian mother whose sons are in the Russian military or going to be called up for conscription are going to worry if their sons are going to be in the line of fire. And that political pressure can be tremendously damaging, even to an autocrat like Putin, who doesn't really have to worry about free elections. And so this, though, is a sign, again, that instead of using the obvious and most available resource, his conscripts, he's relying instead on these units that it's not clear who they're going to be drawing from Belgorod or Kursk. Now, what I thought was even more interesting is that Putin is still pulling a lot of troops to try to stabilize the Kursk situation, right? But these are, again, really low-level troops. These are mobilizees, some of these undertrained contract soldiers, and, of course, a lot of just under-trained, like non-frontline, low-priority troops. That's who Putin is trying to send into this region. Again, primarily, it sounds like it's coming from Zaporizhzhia province, and you can see on the map here that already Ukraine looks like it's taking advantage of that. You could see here that they've actually purportedly regained some positions at the Kyiv region near the village of Kopani, and have regained some limited positions again in the Kherson region. So, you know, we know that this is not a huge game changer or anything, but it is a sign that Russia may be robbing units from this location, making it more vulnerable to Ukrainian advances as they try to find someone to shore up this Kursk offensive. But you may say to yourself, Paul, what about the Belarusian military? They're sitting on the border, and a lot of leaked photos have seen their equipment is getting tagged with a B for Belarus. And does that mean that they are going to be a new invasion force? Well, Lukashenko has confirmed absolutely not. Lukashenko says he will never order troops to fight outside Belarus. He says, quote, "There have not been and will not be any orders to go outside our country. We will only go to war when they come for us with bad intentions. That's all." So this is, again, a sign that, as we talked about, and as I predicted, that Belarus was primarily launching a feint, right? Something to sort of get the Ukrainians to worry, maybe to get the Ukrainians to deploy a brigade or two to sit on the border with Belarus in order to pull them off the front line, but not really going to sit there and make a huge difference. And again, now that Lukashenko has confirmed this, it sounds like, in all likelihood, the Ukrainians never took the bait. That is probably what we had happen here. Anyway, guys, that's all I had. A huge thank you to the Colonel tier members at combatvetnews.com. But what's really significant, guys, remember Labor Day 24? That promo code also applies to Combat Vet News. So if you want to become a member, now's the time. Same promo code, Labor Day 24, and get 20% off, 10% off your specialist tier membership and 20% off your lieutenant and above tier membership. So again, if you were on the fence, now is the time to do it. Thanks to everybody who is a member. Huge difference maker. Hope you guys enjoyed the GoPro footage, the absolutely crazy GoPro footage that we checked out yesterday, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.